Hello, hello. West Ham Network is Holly, and I'm here with your Hammers headlines for today, Wednesday, the 5th of February, run in association with KUMB.com. Now, today we are going to be putting an end to all of those transfer rumours, the last bits of business that have somehow snuck into February with the close of the January transfer window as well, which I'm not a huge fan of, but moving on swiftly. We have got today to speak about one player that could have left West Ham at the last moment, two bits of business that we didn't manage to pull off, and the reasons why they didn't work out. So if you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you also want to get involved in the conversation, drop us a comment because it always helps support the channel. And of course, make sure you have subscribed to West Ham Network so you never have to miss an update. So without further ado, let's get going. As I mentioned, this is going to be kind of wrapping up those last rumours and what happened behind them. So it has been reported that one of the players we held on to despite interest in the January transfer window was no other than Vladimir Coufal, who's actually over this side. And I just pointed the wrong way there. Whoopsie. So Fulham were apparently keen to do a deal while our game with Chelsea was still happening. So TalkSport are one of the main sources of this information. So take from it what you will. But they've said that Coufal only actually found out that Fulham were interested in signing him after the West Ham game had finished, leaving about an hour, if I am correct, until the transfer window actually closed. So this would have been our last chance to make a decent amount of money for the Czech 32-year-old, with his contract set to expire in the summer as it currently stands. But the question that I've got for you today is, would you have been disappointed to see us let Coufal go in this window? For me, I really feel like we just need to keep all of our defensive options in defence so that we can just strengthen and rebuild defensively in summer and not make our squad any weaker, because another injury or two and we would be in a horrific position. And obviously Coufal is a player that we do give a decent amount of game time to. So while I'm not saying he's the best player ever and probably isn't necessarily what we need long term at the moment, I don't think we should be getting rid of him, especially last second, with no hope of bringing anybody else in to replace him. So personally, I'm glad that we didn't get rid of Coufal because it would have just left us shorter for options. But let me know what you think down below in that comment section. For your second story, another report from TBR Football has come out that we attempted to sign Endrick from Real Madrid, looking to bring the 18-year-old forward to West Ham. However, Real Madrid came back and were clear that they had absolutely no desire to let Endrick leave for not just West Ham, but for any club. And this comes as no surprise because Ancelotti has publicly spoken about the promise that he thinks the player has, saying that he's got huge potential and saying that he is fast, has great control and packs a powerful shot, also describing him as a proper striker that is especially dangerous in tight spaces. So given that whole description, I think he thinks he's got plans for Endrick moving forward and probably doesn't want to let him go to a club like West Ham anyway. But on top of this, Endrick has also said he didn't want to go elsewhere. So the attempt ended up amounting to absolutely nothing, to be honest. And it doesn't look as though Endrick will be coming to East London or anywhere else for that matter anytime soon. For your final story, an interesting one has been the Kroupi situation. Now, it was reported that we were quoted 35 million euros. I think it was 10 million to buy him plus 2 lots of 15 mil of add-ons, depending on certain clauses that were quite easy to meet, if I'm correct. But then he ended up going to Bournemouth for just 10 million euros, leaving a lot of West Ham fans scratching our heads and thinking, that wasn't the valuation that we were given there. Now, interestingly, Lorient, where he's from, and Bournemouth have the same ownership. So there's a big question mark over whether they've happened to just coincidentally given themselves a rather flattering deal. It definitely looks a little bit suspicious given the amount that we were told that he would cost versus what they actually settled for. Like I said, the fact that there's the same ownership just happening to be between both sides. That said, Kroupi is a French second division player that's 18 years old, and paying 35 million euros is a lot for a player that's only proven at that level. So personally, I'd probably rather we hold on to that money to bring in a player who we're actually certain on. If it's sort of a risk, that's quite an expensive risk, not necessarily one of those cheap bargains that you hope you can bring in and sort of pull off. But Did we put in such a massive offer compared to what they let him go for? Or was it all a move that just took advantage of Bill Foley's ownership? Good old transfer window dramas. They never end, do they? So there you have it. That may well be the last time you hear me chat about the January transfer window for at least an hour or two. So those have been your Hammers headlines for today. Make sure you check out the video from earlier today as well, where I ran through everything that you need to know about Carl Macaulay. Very tired over here. Baby that just has decided again, why sleep? Why not just have a 3-hour waking patch in the middle of the night? Why not? But Carl Macaulay is definitely an interesting one. And we spoke about this in a lot more detail, but the way he's worked with Potter, what experience he brings, the way that he actually works, and how this frees Potter up to focus on the squad itself, and Macaulay can go and find the information that we need about upcoming games and things like that, as well as just the players, but opposition players, how to find weaknesses in them. It's a very good system. It's worked very well, and could even see a third join as part of a trio at some point, which would mean a tried and tested model, which has worked previously at Brighton, brought straight to West Ham, when West Ham fans have been speaking for a few years positively about the Brighton model of football. Amazing. So that's all from me for now, but have an amazing day. I look forward to chatting to you all again soon. And until next time, come on, you Irons.